Hold on. There we go.
Well, it's been a little while since we've seen all of you. We apologize profusely about our delay, but summer vacation, the three of us have kids, so we had to do our thing, so we had to take a little hiatus, but we are back now to talk about a few things that just happened recently with the New York Mets. The trade deadline, this wonderful series against the Braves, and what this means for us moving forward. But the first thing I want to put off is, guys, whether you're in the social media world or anything, I'm saying this as like a public service announcement right now. When you tweet something, when you post something, have a little bit of taste. I don't know if this was a New York Mets fan thinking it was funny or it was actually a Braves fan, but somebody tweeted out saying and I'm paraphrasing because I'm not reading it right now, but he said, after spending time to the New York Met fans, I can see why 9/11 hit the perfect city or something like that. I mean, it was a horrible tweet. It was atrocious. People just have some friggin' taste. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Welcome back,
Yeah.
Tito and Ryan.
Yeah, happy to be back. But yeah, man, going to that tweet.
Did you see that one?
That's awful. Don't be talking shit. Don't say nothing like that about somebody else's city or family member that passed away and something tragic where thousands of people lost their lives. And not
So
only
actually, the tweet actually says, after watching the behavior of the Mets fans, I got to say 9/11 couldn't have happened to a more deserving city, was the exact tweet.
that's awful.
I hope this person gets drug out to the street and beat profusely just for saying something like that.
Yeah,
But
that's a shitty tweet. And yeah, going to what you said before we got on there, I kind of do look like a caveman now that I'm looking at myself.
we're
But
going to refer to you as Captain Caveman for the rest of the day.
I'll say you look like Johnny Damon.
oh, hey, is that before or after he sobered up?
When he was with the Red Sox.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
don't feel bad. I haven't shaved in a while, but Ryan's got the porno mustache going
I
on right now.
do.
So.
Nah, so the reason why I haven't shaved for everybody out there is because I was talking shit to a Braves fan. I said, "Hey, I hope we take 4-1 and 4-5, excuse me, and I'm not going to shave until we do." And hey, long and behold, we did. So I may not shave you. So maybe next time you see me, my beard will be down to my ankles.
That'd be an interesting look for you, man.
That'd be great. Should I braid it or should I just like let it go?
You got to do it like old Viking style, like braid 2 coming
Yeah,
down or
you got at
something.
Oh,
least.
okay. We'll see. We'll see what I do. So what's up, guys? Let's talk some Mets baseball. This is awesome to be back with everybody on here watching us. And yeah, we agree, Mario. That was a shitty tweet, man. Nobody wants to hear, see, or paraphrase what a shitty tweet like that. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. People are stupid. I said it might have been somebody that's in their teens or 20s that wasn't born yet or doesn't know the magnitude of what actually happened that day. I'm hoping it's somebody ignorant, not somebody just freaking retarded.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway, let's start, ladies and gentlemen, with, oh my God, the trade deadline.
By the
And
way,
then-
real quick, I'd like to
Oh, yeah, what's up,
broadcast
bud?
this one, that tweet, that post towards us.
That comment.
Vogelbeck's walk-up song should be "Sexy Back." He's bringing Vogel back. I like that, Mario.
All
That's,
right, Mario, I like that one a lot.
that's spot on, Mario. Good call.
The reason I wanted to bring up the trade deadline really quick is now I have our Twitter account, I have my personal Twitter account, and I usually do it to follow insiders, especially trade deadline, free agency time. You want to get whatever rumors going out, whatever signings are happening. But you also have to deal with what I love, and a lot of people love to call the keyboard GMs. Let's trade Dom and JD for Mike Trout. That crap doesn't work. And then all the people that are sitting there saying the Mets failed. No, the Mets didn't fail. Ryan will give his points. Tito will give his points. But here's mine really quick. First off, restraint. It takes a lot of restraint for a GM not to trade his top prospects for rentals that are going to bolt at the end of the year. Francisco Alvarez is the number 1 prospect in baseball. Brett Beatty is number 18 and number 2 for third basemen. Vientos is number 9 for third basemen. Alex Ramirez in single A is, what was he, like number 30 something? And then Ron Murcio was 49. Those top prospects, you don't sell the future of the team for a win now unless you're getting somebody in return that has control or a little bit of term left that you know he's not going anywhere. We proved that with Javi Baez last year, giving up Pete Crow Armstrong, and Baez is gone. But it's also not about getting sexy names or superstars all the time.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I'd like to interject, but Baez was also a locker room cancer.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad he's gone.
Because that's the other thing to keep in mind. When you get some of these rentals, you have to find people that mesh with your team. And you don't know that if you bring in a massive name, if they're going to mesh. And that Baez didn't mesh at all, even though he knew half the team.
And this is where Ryan and I share a brain, kind of, where I'm going into, too. It's not about the sexy names. It's not about superstars. It's about those right players. Vogelback. Perfect player for this situation. Ruff. Did we give up a little too much for Ruff? Yes, but what he's meant for, cool. Naquin. Loving that guy right now. And watching Vogelback run from first to home on a double. Wow.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Rumbling down that third baseline. I love it.
Great Hambino.
So, from Omar, Soto could have been the name for long term. He could have been. For the amount we were going to have to give up for him. And I'm not sure, Omar, where you're from, but the three of us actually live outside of DC now, so we get to see a lot of like Soto play. And there are reports with the Washington franchise that he's not good in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are things that he's a little prima donna, so he could have been a cancer to the Mets. We won't know that. But right now, I'm happy with Marte in right field for a short term. If Soto would have came on a decent price where we didn't have to give up Alvarez and Beatty, I probably would have took him. But we'll never know.
Also, the other thing to keep in mind is you're not just losing those prospects. You're also going to end up losing Nimmo. You're going to lose McNeil. You're going to lose the other guy, and possibly Diaz, the guys who you would have to keep. You would have to take the money you were going to spend on them to spend on Soto. So it's more than just the prospects you were going to give up there.
There was a little math I did for these two guys. That was if we brought Soto in and signed him, you got to think between 7 players, and this was re-signing Nimmo and McNeil. That between 7 players, Scherzer, DeGrom re-signing him, Nimmo, McNeil, Soto, Lindor, Alonso, over $200 million would have been invested in just 7 players. When you still need to get 18 more to fill out your roster. I know Uncle Steve said he's going to spend the money, but he will draw the line somewhere too because luxury tax and stuff. And Omar, yes, I agree with you. DeGrom does deserve the house. We'll see what happens there. So,
going back to what you were saying about giving up the prospects, the reason why we're in the position we are now is because we didn't do that with McNeil. We didn't do that with Nimmo. We didn't do that with Alonso. If we did that in the past, where would we have been without Alonso right now? Where would we be without Nimmo right now? We wouldn't be where we're at. I'll tell you that right now.
If you remember, they wanted to trade Nimmo every year. I actually had the meme keeping Nimmo based on the Finding Nemo logo. Probably find it.
Nimmo's a key guy. Who, since Reyes, who has been a spark plug in the leadoff role in between Reyes and Nimmo? Who? Nobody.
Did we get Ricky back? I never remember when the last time we had Ricky was.
I don't remember either. I don't remember. And yeah, Omar, man, injured or not, he should be a Met forever. You're absolutely right. DeGrom shouldn't be allowed to talk or to walk anywhere if he's not a Met.
So here is just since Omar brought that up with DeGrom, here's the interesting thing that I want to get people. So many people, DeGrom's opting out, DeGrom's walking. DeGrom never said he's testing free agency. He never said he's leaving. He said he wants to be a Met for life. If that happens, he's opting out of his contract. Reason being, he's 32 years old. He signed a team-friendly deal for before with the coupons. He wants to bank a contract before he leaves, but he never once mentioned testing free agency. Just he was opting out.
If Scherzer got the money he got, and Scherzer knows and says when he came into this dugout, this is DeGrom's team, what do you think DeGrom deserves?
I think that Degrom. And honestly, this is thinking, and this is me, but I think he's used to that team that doesn't make it, that doesn't spend the money, that or does spend money but spends it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he wanted to see what's happening this year. And he said, I'm opting out. And that's fine because we can still re sign him. Like you said, he never said he's leaving. But I think a big portion of what's going to happen is, does this team go to the playoffs? Does it not just go to the playoffs? Does it go deep into the playoffs? If we win a series, to come back with the same pen. We are a blessed team right now to watch. I'm going to pause it here almost so we can keep going. But watching, this is the rotation that we all wanted at the beginning of the year.
Mm.
Except, Miguel instead of Peterson. But it's the concept of having the two ace starters with Bassett as your third. And to go, Cookie Carrasco having the year. And then it's like, oh, just who's your fifth? Oh, we have a young kid. It's this guy.
To answer Omar, he said, "Who's the number 3 for the Mets?" To be honest, I truly believe is Bassett is suited for the number 3 in the playoffs. I agree with you, and I think, to be honest with you, Walker is going to be huge for us out of the bullpen. Huge.
Walker, I honestly, right now, and depending on Walker's injury, say Cookie continues this run he's having to the end of the year, I could see Cookie being a number 4 in the playoffs and more coming out of the for both Cookie and Walker coming. You're throwing them in with May, Diaz. You might not see all of them, but that was the other thing that the trade deadline, what a lot of people were complaining about, was the Mets didn't get a left-handed reliever. Well, that would have been nice, but there weren't a lot of left-handed relievers out there. And before anybody says Josh Hader, they would have had to give up way too much for him. But if you have Peterson, if Lucchesi's starting a rehab assignment, he could be maybe on the playoff roster. Joely Rodriguez, he is averaging, since I think it was June, I read, 2 runs or less in an ERA. It was an early season why his numbers are inflated. He hasn't been that horrible.
No.
All right.
And let me just touch a little bit on it.
Yeah.
And this series, which was an amazing series, we just beat Atlanta 4-5. We've saw 3 relievers which had their best outings this series.
Mayday.
Lugo, Jolie, and also May, by far. They looked amazing. And if they can keep that up and do what they did, that'd be fantastic.
All right. I would like to say that we should keep this on target by just giving. Let's give each of our 2 favorite things from the trade deadline.
2 favorite?
2 favorite things of the trade deadline.
Mets,
Oh wait,
Mets
sorry.
related?
I'll give you. Yes, Mets related. 2 favorite, 2 least, two things you hated.
Okay. Daniel Vogelbach, because that's like me going up to the plate. No, what I love about Vogelbach a lot as a trade is I really knew not a lot about the guy before he came to the Mets. I knew he was a bit quirky because you would see some of the memes and pictures with him and the way he dresses and everything. I knew he was a big dude. I looked at his numbers and I was just kind of like, But when you see the guy in his swing rate, he doesn't swing crap. He has a great eye and understanding of the strike zone, that his on-base percentage, and you saw the last game against Washington and the first game against Atlanta, when he gets a hold of the ball, he's great protection for Pete behind him.
My top best thing is Epler. Epler knows this team. Buck knows exactly what this team needed. He got two players in which don't have a good recognition of the strike zone, which is Ruff and also Vogelback. But one bats against lefties and the other one bats against righties. So we have a platoon at the DH to where you saw it in was it the second game of the doubleheader or the first game of the doubleheader? I don't remember. To where they used the bench and they cleared out the bench and there was the second game where they lost 8-5 and they cleared out the bench and they almost made a comeback because Ruff hit a double down the right field line, put him to 5 runs. I mean, obviously we couldn't come back, but he played a role in that game. And you saw Buck using the bench that he now has. And what I don't like about the trade deadline, and it's every freaking year, these couch GMs, not knowing what the hell they're talking about, who we get and why we get them. These two players that the Mets went out to get, it's exactly what the Mets need. Other players that put up 10 pitch at bats, know the strike zone. Look how big of a difference it is when you have a first inning in which a pitcher puts up 30 pitches.
I believe I
30
messaged you
pitches.
guys about that when we were facing the Yankees.
Yep.
That the pitch count after the first inning was 30 pitches, and I'm like, we are winning this game.
Yeah. It's like night in and night out this happens. And it's amazing to see. And did you hear the fans today when Nimmo was up and he got a single because they knew that he kept fouling pitches off and
Yep.
that he had a long at bat. I think he had like an 11 pitch at bat in there.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. They were all cheering because they knew what was going on. That's awesome.
This is weird. I'm out
Most
of.
hated thing about the trade deadline, Dom is
Yeah.
still a Met.
Oh, you stole mine.
Well, no, it was
I didn't
Boston
get
wants
to go.
Boston wants Dom, and
Everybody wants him until they have to trade for him.
yeah, but if they could have pulled out nothing against Ruff, but if they could have pulled out JD Martinez for a rental for Dom, I would have been stoked about that. But it is what it is.
And Omar, I agree with you, bro. McNeil is a pitcher's nightmare. That is 100% facts. Once he starts taking the ball to left center, what he did against Jensen when he drove the ball out for that solo shot in the ninth, he's a nightmare. When he starts using the entire field, and then Marte as well, taking pitches after Nimmo has put up a 12 pitch at bat, that right there you could
Yeah,
easily
and-
see 20 pitches in two batters.
You're also pitching against 300 hitters almost in a row.
Yes.
Before you get to Alonso.
All right,
Yep.
Tito, before
Can
we
I-
get to Ryan's top and minus of the trade deadline, I want to say, Craig, yes, it was an awesome weekend, but everyone's going to kill me when I say this. I was actually happy to see Swanson get a hit or the home run off DeGrom because I did not want to see DeGrom pulled while he had a perfect game going or a no-hitter. That would have made me mad.
My brother and I were talking about that. We're like, I'm almost glad that he did not that it ended the way it did because I'd have been pissed if they took him out in the midst of a perfect game, but I also would have been pissed because we would have left him out there and he'd have Johan Santana himself, where he never would have been the same, but he threw like 130 pitches. Although, I got to say, typical DeGrom, and this is what I need most people who are listening to think about. Any of our pitchers, when they get to 50 to 60 pitches, they're in the third inning. DeGrom was past the fifth inning at 55 pitches. And that's how you go deep into games, by not throwing balls. He throws so few full counts, and that's why he's always been able to work deep.
It's not just about throwing balls either. It's DeGrom stuff. That slider, he could have threw 30 balls on, but what did he go, 18 for 18 before Harris finally fouled off that slider? On
18 for 18 on sliders before anyone made contact on it, which is ridiculous.
Ridiculous, yeah.
And what DeGrom and Diaz do is they paint the corner and it dives away, and they can't help but swing at it. But in retrospect, it will be a ball. But you're right, they don't throw balls anyway. Ryan, your trade deadline.
All right, favorite thing: not giving up the farm for Contreras. Everyone was desperately wanted him. I want him, but I didn't want to give up a farm because apparently the Cubs. This is how much they wanted for him. No one traded for him. If that was really a player that we all had to have, he wouldn't be a Cub today. That shows you that the Cubs were asking too much.
I think that's why Houston balked to Vasquez.
Yeah.
in Boston because Contreras' price tag was huge.
But then usually what happens is a team goes, "Oh, course correct. Nobody's actually going to trade for us. We've got one partner left. We'll come down." But the Cubs didn't do that, which is why they also still have Hap. When they could have gotten more for Hap this year than next year.
Absolutely.
And my number two favorite was acquiring utility players because to me this reminds me of 2015 when it was like, oh, who'd you get? We got Kelly Johnson, we got Juan Uribe, we got guys who fit into the team and just added. And it wasn't we don't need a culture shift for our team. We don't need a superstar to walk in and change everything. What we need is we need to be able to make Luis Guillorme an almost 50% player at third base. That's what happens when you have full-time outfielders, so you don't have to push McNeil to the left field. So all of a sudden, McNeil's full-time second base, and Guillorme is third base. And then Guillorme can play second and make a ridiculous play by throwing out d'Arnaud at home. You get these guys on the infield for as long as you can, because if you remember the play that McNeil made as the flying squirrel to throw out the Yankee at first base. Because these guys are just good fielders if you give them the chance.
Look at what Guillorme did. He cut off that runner heading home. I think it was d'Arnaud.
d'Arnaud.
We were up 3-0, and that bullet he threw home. What other
87 miles an
infielder
hour.
does that? That was amazing and spot
I did love
on.
Scherzer's reaction. What are you
Yeah.
doing? Throw it to first. Get the out.
And then he was like, "Yay!" Turn around and give him
Yeah.
a fist bump. You know what I mean? Like that's amazing.
And my
No,
two dislikes.
Oh,
Okay.
Brian, really quick on your likes. Keith said something really interesting during the game the other day. You bring in all these utility players. You bring in guys, even though Buck hates the word platooning, but Keith said, and he was very emphatic when he said it, that Escobar and Canna, of course, they probably want to play more, but they're team players and they're not complaining. Those are the guys you need in the locker room. Now they have options. The guys want to play, but they're there for the team first, not themselves.
Yeah.
I
Let
think
me-
Ryan is. There you are.
I think
I'm right here.
I'm gonna throw this out there and I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. The Mets, the lineup they have constructed with Adam Vogelbeck and also Ruff, are the best suited for a playoff run. And I say this because we see it year in and year out. The long ball does not win you championships. It's pitching and small ball and doing the little stuff on the base pads. And the Mets, they do all that right.
Well,
If-
it's
I
funny
was
you
gonna-
say that because it's fundamentally sound. If everybody remembers 2015, sure, we used the long ball. We got through the playoffs. We used great pitching. Then we ran into a fundamentally sound Kansas City Royal team. And what happened? Tito. I keep cutting off Ryan. Your two dislikes about the trade deadline.
Not getting rid of Dom Smith. And I will say, I wanted Dave Robertson from the Cubs. I really wanted him, and it pissed me off that the Phillies got him because now he's going to sit at home for the playoffs because the Phillies ain't making it. And, yeah, I would have loved to have him out of the pen.
Well, Ryan, let's put it this way: the Phillies right now are in the second wild card spot out
Second
of
or
three.
third?
They're second now, and now they're only I think 3 or 4 games behind the Braves because they beat up on the Nationals and we beat up on the Braves. So the Phillies are creeping up.
But
Which
the
I hate to
Padres
say-
are going to catch them.
Yeah, the Padres are number 3 or whatever, but that's fine. It's the shit. I forgot what team was down there.
Well,
Here,
anyway, as far as
I'm loading up the wild card right now. Hold on.
But it's the
Atlanta,
That's the
Philly,
funny
San
thing,
Diego,
is-
Milwaukee.
The
That's
Giants,
right,
the
Milwaukee's
Marlins.
involved. So I purposely waited on my second favorite thing of the trade deadline because I want to say this. Not exactly Mets related, but it's Noah Syndergaard going to the Phillies because Noah Syndergaard just said he can't wait to pitch against the Mets.
Really? Because he skipped us last time.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
I don't like
You know-
cursing, but he's a little bitch.
I always liked Syndergaard and I have his jersey
I
until
have 2 of them.
until agreeing to a qualifying offer, then going to the Angels, now saying he can't wait to pitch us against us. Go fuck yourself, Thor.
He's not much of Thor because every year his fastball gets slower and slower and slower. I mean, I watched the Chasing Nolan documentary. I highly recommend everyone watches that documentary to understand what a real great Texan pitcher is like, unlike Syndergaard. And Nolan, if his when his fastball started going down, he supplemented it with a phenomenal curveball and an amazing changeup. What did Syndergaard do? Well, he can't hold a runner, and he still hasn't learned how to do that. If he pitches against the Mets, I want Nimmo, Marte, and everyone on our team running on him because he does not know what to do. And second off, he never has really developed his second pitch. He had a slider that does not make anyone. It's not a Degrom slider. It's not
So
a.
did you guys see the tweet by Vogelbach saying he
There we
he
go. Thank you,
gets his
Mario.
home runs like he gets his donuts in bunches? If Daniel Vogelbach can steal a base off Noah Syndergaard,
Oh
I
my
will
Oh
send the
my
god.
guy
God,
like
I'd
300
lose it.
donuts or something.
I'd
I have.
lose it. All right, everybody in this chat, if Vogelbach, I'm sorry, steals a base off of Syndergaard, we all chip in to send them 30 donuts to the clubhouse.
Oh
We,
yeah, you got to get good donuts too.
good donuts.
Yeah.
We're all chipping in. Are you guys in? I want to hear what you guys got to
Oh,
say.
I'm doing it. I
Dude, I'll
don't
do it
care.
myself. Hell yeah. I mean, I'll send him to Syndergaard too and be like, maybe you should try these. Maybe
You
you'll
know,
regain your
Mario.
fastball, douche.
You
Stop
know,
appearing on
Mario.
Game of Thrones and start, worrying
Yeah.
about your pitching.
You know, Mario. Noah
Um,
did say he was wanted to be a Met lifer and all this stuff, but at the same time, if you noticed over the last couple of years, he's cared more about making fun of people on Twitter and his book club than actually being a pitcher.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he suffers from what I call Harveyism. You remember when Matt Harvey started appearing in like magazine covers like ESPN The Body and all this stuff, and it became less about
Mm,
pitching and more about the image? That's what Syndergaard suffered from. DeGrom never developed that problem. Jacob never developed that because for him it was always about the game on the field
Well, when he was known for his hair, what did he
and
do?
not
He cut it off.
cocaine.
That's
eh,
how much Degrom I think cared about the game when his signature was his hair, and that's what a lot of people were focusing on. He cut it off.
Yep.
he didn't give two shits.
Nope.
You know,
All
you
right.
know. And let's talk a little bit about this. You know, let's go a little further back too. We really dodged two bullets, huh? With Syndergaard and Bauer, huh? Did we not? I mean, the Mets now are looking pretty, and meanwhile, everybody wanted to re-sign Thor and sign Bauer, and look at where we're at now
Hey,
without
don't
either
forget
one on
about
the
throwing.
team.
Don't forget about throwing Stroman's dumbass in there.
There you go, him too.
Which I thought Stroman was the key to when Steve took over the team because he accepted the first qualifying offer, basically legitimizing the new owner, and then he wanted to leave. Then he badmouthed the Mets, and he did the same thing to Toronto. So there's a pattern with him. He's probably going to do the same thing to the Cubs. It's
Yeah.
not the team,
He,
Stroman. It's you.
yeah, he has that. You watch him pitch. He has every he has every God-given ability you could possibly want for a pitcher, and he never seems to put it all together for that long of a period of time. And like I see him post like, "Oh, look at me. I'm working on my flexibility and my core strength. Look, I've got a wine glass on my back and I can walk on four legs without spilling any." That's great. Show me how you're pitching. There are
Ooh, Rick, I'm sorry to cut you off, Ryan, but you're going to like this one. Rick, I love the fact that the Mets have caught the Yankees.
Yes, we
Hmm.
have. As of
Put
today
that
we
up.
have.
Put that on the screen for everybody to see, please. I love that.
Ryan,
Love
I didn't mean
that.
to cut you off, but I just thought of your wife when I was reading that one. And
Why? She hates what the Yankees are doing.
oh yeah, look at Joey Gallo. They trade him away now. Gallo's tearing
No,
it up.
she loved trading away Gallo.
No, I know, but now he's kind of tearing it up in LA right now. And
Is
Gallo's
he?
happy with
How's
the
he
way.
doing?
Yeah,
Well, he only has 4 strikeouts, so he's doing better.
Well, I mean, that by the way, that video where the Yankee fan when they put in Joey Gallo to pinch hit against Diaz, and like, what's he doing? One of the Mets reporters even was like, the shocking thing isn't that Joey Gallo struck out; it's that he didn't do it on 3 pitches.
That's great.
The problem,
No.
her problem with the Yankees is the Yankees have literally assembled a batting lineup that is good for home runs and nothing else. And their best hitter is the guy they almost didn't re-sign, who almost became a Met because he was just sitting at home waiting for a Yankee offer. Do you know who I'm talking about? Second baseman, also first and third. He kind of plays every position for them.
DJ
For
LeMahieu.
DJ
Mayhew?
LeMahieu. They always yell about how great he is. Oh, but no, sorry. Aaron Judge is the best hitter on the Yankees. No, it's DJ LeMahieu. Aaron Judge is this. No, DJ LeMahieu. It's him. And that's why my wife gets so pissed because they've wasted, and they're gonna, as she put it, they're gonna waste $300 million on Aaron Judge. And he's going to go back because this is a contract year. He's having an amazing year. He's going to go back to last year's Judge, where he strikes out 150 times, who bats 230, who hits home runs, but if he doesn't, it's an out.
So,
Now,
so
can you make the same argument about Diaz?
here's my biggest argument to that, and I tell everybody this: Judge is more important to the Yankees than he is to any other team because right now he's that face. So they're in a bad situation right now with him. They really are. They got to give him what he wants because otherwise Yankee fans would probably riot.
Yeah, but the problem is they unfortunately acquired this man called Giancarlo Stanton, who's done absolutely nothing for them, and they've
True.
acquired Garrett Cole for more than either of them, and he has done nothing of worth for them.
Good.
Hey,
Keep doing
hey,
nothing,
hey,
and
hey.
let's keep doing nothing. Let's keep talking Mets being better than the Yankees.
Hold on. Stan does do something for the Yankees. He takes up valuable room on the IL. The end. Ladies and gentlemen, that's watching this, I want you to kind of comment about your thoughts, but we're going to go into these past 5 games against the Braves
Yay!
and what this really meant for the Mets. Now, what did it mean for the Mets? Putting a lot of distance between them and the Braves because, well, Alex Riley had to open his mouth
Austin
when they
Riley.
were half game out about they're just going to catch the Mets. I think it kind of pissed
Austin
the Mets
Riley.
off. Sorry, not Alex Riley. Austin Riley. Sorry. And, well, before anybody gets into this, the Braves, they're not as good a team as people think. They are 21-26 against teams over 500. I'm not trying to shit on them and make the Mets' accomplishment this weekend sound less impressive than it was. But, Ryan, what were you saying earlier about when they caught us in the standings?
So they were doing it against piss poor teams while we were on the West Coast playing the Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres before their swoon. We were facing all the best teams on the West Coast while they were playing the worst teams in baseball. Now, that's going to happen throughout your year, but you shouldn't kind of base your entire, like, oh, we're definitely in this because we're catching them. Yeah, they're playing the hardest teams in the league and still winning series. The difference is we played the toughest teams in all of baseball. We won 75% of the games basically, without Scherzer, without DeGrom, without McGill for parts of it. They played the bottom seller. They won like 100% of those games and made up ground. Now they had to face us, a team above 500, and we beat the crap out of them, proving that 2 things. 1, pitching always wins. There's nothing quite like Ozuna walking up there and showing you that he's not worth the money by striking out. Mm-hmm. And 2, that, I would rather have a bunch of platoon guys who can bat 300 and get the occasional home run and not live off that.
And not the other way around.
When you live off home runs, when you run into good pitching, you die.
Let me throw a number out there for you guys if you guys didn't hear it, if you guys don't know. The Mets, now, after this weekend, we're 53-11 after scoring first. 53-11.
53-11 when scoring first is a dang good stat to have.
Yes. That means you get a run for us, we'll more than likely win.
Do you know
That's a hell of a number.
Do you know how many games DeGrom would have won if we scored a run first for him?
That's like 2/3 of his starts. Man. And was it weird or was it not weird getting 2 runs from him and him sitting in the dugout and he was looking like at this space like what was going on? Like
yeah. once we got to 4 runs, you could see like his demeanor was a little bit different. Like he looked
Yeah.
like, all right, I like this team. 4 runs, man. I'd have won
This
30
is you.
games a year with this.
He's like, this is usually 6 starts. Like, we're doing this in one game.
Guys, don't
You know,
waste all the runs in one game. I need you to do this again.
yeah, man. Like it's nice to have his team, man, and not only homegrown talent, but the people that they brought in just gelled nicely. And the last time we had that was when we had Juan Uribe come in. Remember when Juan Uribe came in and he sparked that, that team.
Tin Cup.
It was awesome, and we have that now. It's great.
Yeah, Juan Uribe was Tin Cup.
It
If
was Tin
everybody
Cup,
remembers that play at third that he took off the cup.
the cup. Yes.
Poor Tyler Clippard always seems to be forgotten in those 2015 trades.
Tyler Clifford was a great
Tyler
addition.
Clippard.
So the Braves are 21-26 against teams above 500. The Mets, on the other hand, well, the Phillies are 27-29. The Mets are 31-22 against teams above 500. Not to mention, they do what they're supposed to do when they beat up on the NL East teams.
That's you
What are they,
gotta
like 35-13 against the NL East or something absurd like
do.
that?
Haven't lost a series in the NL East.
Yeah. But the best game that signified how special this team is to me is actually the game they lost. And what I mean by that is not that, Walker got hurt, he caught a spike, he got a cramp, whatever truly happened. Walker, he didn't make an excuse. He just came out and said, I didn't do my job today. There's a team guy right there. He's not making excuses. But something Tito touched on earlier. Buck was pulling the strings with the pinch hitters. We had a big inning. We started to come back. We didn't, come back for the win like we've done a couple times earlier in the year. But it truly shows that this team doesn't give up and there's something special here. A lot of teams, when they're down 8-0 after 2 innings, you see that they're not playing hard. You see that they don't care after that. That's, interesting out of all the wins. That's, I just think, a special moment for this team.
This team has character. We wanted this. 2 years ago, we were sitting. We're like, damn, we want to play meaningful games in August. We're here. This is awesome.
You know it's better than meaningful games in August?
Meaningful games in October.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mario, baseball is truth. Good pitching will always stop good hitting. Agreed, but I'm really curious to see if the Mets and Padres face each other in the playoffs with what the Padres did at the trade deadline.
You know what, though? This is the truth, though. The Padres have, even with the addition of Soto, 6 batters I could throw to. 3 I'd walk. And then we're good. I'll load the bases and face their number 5 hitter. And that's saying that Tatis ever comes back from injury.
He's in a rehab assignment right now.
Yeah, and when he comes back, is he going to go for another motorcycle ride?
Well, I hope
better,
he doesn't get
better than a horse on your and
Listen,
stepping on a hole.
but I mean, there are players who are just, I'll say, I hate saying injury prone, snake bit, whatever you want to say, but Tatis seems to be one of those guys who his priority isn't baseball because he gets hurt and then it's like, I'll be back in 7 months. And you're like, do you need 7 months? Or is this something you can play through? Is this like, he doesn't seem to be that guy who you have to worry about. I mean, amazing ball player, all the talent in the world. But, and like Mario said, the Padres and Dodgers are for real. I don't know the Padres are for real because I don't think that much of their starting pitching. I don't think much of their fourth, I'll say 4 through 9 in terms of their starts. They got Hader to close up their bullpen, but Hader's not perfect. He's great, but he's not perfect. No, they gotta have a lead to make Hader worthwhile. If you've got 2 good pitchers, what the Mets do, and we've touched on this, and this is one of the, I think it was Max Fried of the of the Braves said a few weeks ago was he hates pitching against the Mets because they run up your pitch count. You run up the pitch count and you make Hader go out there on game 1, he's not coming back till game 3. That's a nice thing. You make them use all of their pitching in 1 or 2 games by having guys like Guillorme, McNeil, Nimmo, and Canna, who will each be getting 10 pitches in at bat. One time through the lineup, that's 50 pitches.
The Padres did their best move wasn't Soto. It was probably Brandon Drury.
Oh yeah, Drury's a great guy.
They got a glue guy that they needed and hit a grand slam in his first at bat for them.
Yep.
Cool. I like Brandon Drury. I wish him best of luck.
Same.
Mario, are the playoffs going to be a cakewalk like 2015? That 2015 was as much of a cakewalk. Yeah, we swept the Cubs in the NLCS after the Cubs swept us through the regular season.
But we should also remember that Dodgers series. I'll never forget that series against the Dodgers. Game 5 was October 15th, 2015, on my birthday. I missed the first half of the game because I was on a date with my now wife, and she lost the baseball hat I'd had for 10 years, and we've now replaced it with a very similar one. And we were at a bar in DC and Bar Louie to watch the Mets come back and win that thing, and that was just beautiful.
For Ryan, who's like a brother to me, I don't acknowledge his birthday on October 15th.
Why not?
Why not?
My daughter's birthday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, nice. But
and yes, you are right. The Padres aren't tested. The Dodgers are, and I'm not. I will never undersell the Dodgers. The Dodgers are great. I love the fact they have so many solid players that it'd be a tough fight. But I'm very happy that we have Scherzer and DeGrom.
Hey Mario, just so you understand this, Ryan's not shitting on the Padres. Ryan has a way of looking at holes in teams that people don't see. He's not just looking at the superstars and what their numbers say. He's looking at, all right, Machado has a tendency to chase this pitch. We can get through him. That's what he's pretty much.
Yeah, I think that both teams are going to be really hard to beat. But, the best way to say this is, like we both agreed on, good pitching wins. The Padres don't have great pitching. And if you can get around their 3 hitters, and I'm not saying you strike them out, I'm saying you get around them, you're in a good place. I mean, it's the way you play baseball. You can lose to 3 players and still win a game. And that's where good pitching comes in, and that's where having depth on bullpen comes in. And that's where guys who can, stretch, as I've said several times, stretch their rotation come in.
One of our first podcasts with Tito is we talked in the beginning of the year about who our unsung heroes were of the offseason, what we were looking forward to. And I want to say it was Ryan. Tito. If it was you, I apologize, but one of you brought up Eric Chavez. Don't remember which one of you said that.
I said, I might have said that one, but
what Eric Chavez has done with his approach, with what the hitters are doing, not trying to go. And Pete Alonso, I think, is the best example of this right now. Pete would try and go yard, do different things. 2 strikes, he's going the other way. He's taking what the pitch gives him. He's not trying to pull everything. He's not trying to yank everything for a home run. So get past these teams in the playoffs. Ryan says our pitching gets through it, and then we eat up their starting pitchers. You get through Musgrove, who's, he's okay. He's good. You get through Snell, who's not having his Cy Young stuff as he had in the past with Tampa. You can get past the Padres because I don't think their rotation is that deep. Dodgers, on the other hand, maybe a little bit tougher against their pitching, but you see what we did against Walker Buehler his first time he pitched against the Mets. So.
Yeah, I agree. The Padres aren't tested. The Padres go as far as Tatis takes him, and who knows if he's even going to be healthy. He gets a mosquito bite, he's going to be on the 30-day IL. So, I mean,
60.
I don't, yeah, 60, whatever. But right now, they're not tested. We'll see what happens. I mean, and to say they're even going to make a run at the division is really unrealistic because it's 14 games already. They're out of
Real
that.
quick,
And
Darno hits better now, but he doesn't run better.
oh,
Well,
man.
to be fair to Darno, when he was with the Mets really didn't have that type of team where he might have Riley and Olsen hitting in front of him and having a little more protection. That Mets team in 2015 and around then wasn't really built like some of the Braves hitters are. And good for Darno. I always liked him. I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah, but I will say this: I've never understood, and this is what my wife and I were discussing earlier. So Darno sees the ball hit to the right side of the field, immediately decides he's going home. There's no difference in distance throw home from shortstop or second base. They're both playing the diamond, so it's the same exact distance. It doesn't give you any better of a. It's balls hit to the same place, same speed. Maybe a shortstop has a better arm than a second baseman. That's about it. There's no reason to run there. It's still an infield ball. If it's the first base, maybe you can say the first baseman doesn't have a great arm. Second base or shortstop in Major League Baseball will throw you out at home, especially if you're a catcher.
What's up, Rudy? And to add to that,
What's up,
man,
Rudy?
that throw and where he fielded it and where actually Nimmo was not Nimmo, Nito was standing, it was an easier throw for Guillermo to make because it was hit to him instead of the shortstop because
Yep.
of the positioning on the field.
By the way, I would like to point out that your beard is starting to make you look like Yorme. It's like
Well,
Yorme beard. It's the beard that starts here and just
Uh-huh.
goes down.
I think
Awesome.
Guillermo needs to shave again so he can get another hot streak going.
I think I need a shave against to the Mets
Guil-
keep winning.
I didn't recognize Guillorme when he shaved.
Buzz Lightyear to the rescue.
Seriously. I was like,
Now,
who's that guy? They're like, it's Guillorme. I'm like, no, it isn't.
now, everybody that's still watching, what do you look forward to more? The Phillies series or next Braves series?
Bring
Curious.
on the Phillies. Bring on the Phillies. I want Noah Syndergaard. I want to put up 15 runs against him.
I do just want to knock the crap out of Syndergaard.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny what the Phillies are doing and how they're making a charge. Just really goes to show you Ryan's rants over. Oh God, I've heard this for years. How Joe Girardi sucks as a manager, which I fully agree with.
I
But Ryan is always
100%.
very adamant about that one.
I said he was the most overrated and overpaid manager, and when everybody wanted him to come to the Mets, I said that's a terrible idea.
Well, thank God for that. Thank God that did not happen. But
Yeah.
I mean, let's go back a little bit to the series that just happened, man. 4-5, and I would have been happy to take 3-5. To be honest, and we wound up winning 4. That's great.
Hey, real quick, I want to bring this up. If I had told you when the Nationals won the World Series that less than 5 years later they would be 34 and a half games out of first place,
Hey,
would
Ooh.
to be fair to the Nationals, at least it took longer for them to blow up the team than the Marlins.
the Marlins are only 20 and a half back?
No, I mean after both of their World Series in '97 and 2003, they blew up their team.
It's true, but I would say that yeah, it's similar. And as I said it to someone at the park, it's shocking that within a few years the Washington Nationals will probably be playing in Las Vegas.
That I mean, more than likely. I mean, their
It's
fans.
tradition that
Their
their
fans.
team always moves.
Look, if you guys haven't been to a DC Nationals game, every basically fan base that comes in the NL East takes over that stadium, and it's horrible on the
The
National
prices are
side.
ridiculous.
Beat
Yeah.
the Metro.
That's the chant. Beat the Metro. We always chant that, and they're always leaving by the 6th.
By the way, I
Hey.
would like to bring up that Ted is doing a great job with Major League quotes over here.
These guys are horrible. That's awesome.
Love the
Who
Major
were
League
these?
Uh,
references.
Who were these
yep.
fucking guys?
Thank you, Ted.
uh,
I appreciate all baseball movie references that come into these quotes.
uh,
All right,
what do we got
boys.
here? Rudy
All
said
right,
he's
I just
looking to
gotta
the
throw my favorite.
Rudy said he's looking forward to the Yankee series.
I am too, but to
Hmm.
me right now, Rudy, the Yankee series, 2-game series, we swept them once already. I can really give two craps about that. It's
Yeah,
the NL East series because I want distance between the Braves and Phillies only because the Mets and the Dodgers are poised to have the two best records so far, which means they'll get a bye through the wild
Stupid
card
new
rounds to the
playoffs.
division series, and that's what I want more than anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. It's the NL East series. We got to take it. If we keep beating the NL East, we will be the number one. We all sound drunk. Wow, not even close. Um, we will if we beat those. If we beat the NL East, we win the East. We win. Yeah, Pat doesn't drink. Uh, we will. The Cardinals are not. I'm not worried about them having a better record in the end. We're gonna beat that division. The Dodgers are our main competition for best record in the NL. All if we getting to the World Series is the eventual goal. I don't even care about interleague play. I'd love to beat the Yankees, but I mean,
Hey,
at the worst best case scenario for them, they split with us in the season. So
the
like I
greatest
said.
thing with the Yankees right now is the fact that Jordan Montgomery shut them out 1-0 the other day.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that is kind
Fan-
of funny. Oh, Benintendi is 1 for 30 since joining the Yankees, pretty much.
oh,
He's the new Joey
nice.
Gallo right now.
He
By the
took
way, I
over.
now have to look up Joey Gallo's stats since joining the Dodgers.
So
I just had to say my favorite baseball movie quote for Ryan. Wow. Avoid the clap, Jimmy
Jimmy
Dugan.
Dugan.
hey Ted, that's great that we're the three dullest guys you've ever seen, but you're still watching. That's awesome. Thanks for the support.
I don't want Jacob DeGrom
Uh,
to become a free agent. And like we said earlier, the problem is that he did not say he's going to test free agency. He just says he's opting out. He just might want more money, and we're fine with Uncle Steve just opening up and giving him more money. That's all it'll
Yeah,
take.
Rudy, that was
Show him
something
that we're a winner.
Rudy, that was something I first brought up when we first came on. Is that it's the wording Degrom used. I would like to be a Met for the rest of my career if it works out. I'm opting out. He never said he's testing free agency. The guy just wants to get his contract that he deserves because he took a free team friendly deal with the coupons. So the guy deserves the money. If especially hurt or pitching, the guy for what he's done for the Mets, pay him.
All right, closing it out, guys. Uh, Final
Yeah,
thoughts.
apparently we're really dull for Ted here, so maybe we got to close out.
let's not have a trap series coming up with Cincinnati. Let's keep let's keep the same momentum going. Let's go. Let's keep playing hard. Let's keep running the first, sprinting the first. Running out these infield hits. Let's keep the streak going. Let's just keep beating these teams as supposed to beat. We put all this effort into the Braves. Now let's take it out on Cincinnati. Let's beat up on the bad team.
The one that we got to really keep doing is keep the momentum up against every team we play, but it's also for a guy like Lindor to keep it up. As Ryan said to us yesterday, we're finally starting to see the guy we traded for and paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
Mm-hmm.
he's doing at the plate, everything he's doing in the field. Pete will go as far as Lindor, Marte, and Nimmo will let him. That's why he gets so many RBIs. People are on base, so we need that momentum going.
Leave that quote on there. Let the Dodgers fans continue to worry about the Mets.
You
I
know
love
what
it.
though? It's like we were saying. The number one team is the Dodgers. They're the team we have to put ourselves against and actually beat. They're the number one team. We have to show that we are able to play with them and beat them. And if we can do that, the World Series. But you got to beat the Dodgers. Is it to be the man? You got to beat the man.
Yep.
Great Rick Flair quote, but Ted, we
Always.
may be dull, we may sound drunk, But you're right. As a Dodgers fan, the Dodgers have won the World Series most recently than the Mets. The Dodgers are the NL East team right now. Until you beat them, or until the Mets beat them or somebody else, they're the team to go through.
Yeah.
Can you give us a woo after that, Ryan?
Woo!
There we go.
Anyway, my one point is let's keep rolling. Let's keep winning games. Let's take series. You don't. I hate watching Mets Twitter because Mets Twitter every time we lose a game goes, "How could you lose a game to a team like the Reds? You just want to take 2 out of 3. Take 2 out of 3 from everyone, and you'll be the best team in baseball."
What, we can't go 162-0?
It's never happened before. I don't see it happening again.
All right, Ted. I know you're busting our chops. We're just busting your chops back. It's all in good fun and good humor.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You're a Dodgers fan. Get out.
Hey, better Dodgers fan than a Phillies or Braves fan. So
Hey, I know some good Braves fans from my time in Florida,
So do
but I don't know any good Phillies fans.
I. So do I.
All right, guys. Let's make sure we don't wait about 2 months to do another podcast.
Nah. Let's go again this upcoming
Hey.
week. We need to do it for sure.
It's been so long since we've done a podcast that Tito did not have a beard
yeah,
when we last did one,
Tito looked like he just hit puberty before
and now he's
on
like
that podcast, and now he looks
full
like
I
he's-
beard.
also just learned how to speak English. And I'm not caveman anymore. So, nah, guys, let's do another one next week. This is fun. I love doing this.
So, for everybody, we're going to try and continue to do the Mets ones Sunday nights. You'll see Ryan and I popping up during the week, talking some Bills, Giants, Islanders. So, there you go.
Gonna be
Football
doing
season
a
on the horizon.
upcoming podcast with a barbecue guy from the Buffalo Bills, so that'll be a fun one.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, man. Talking some grilling, talking some Buffalo Bills.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna have Pat on that just for the foodie part of it.
And I'm going to be speaking to a writer from the fourth period for the New York Islanders. So we'll be checking that out soon.
Let's go Mets.
All right, let's go Mets.
Okay, hold on a second before we go, guys. Ted, you don't know our names. I'm Patrick.
I'm Tito.
And I'm Ryan.
Nice to meet you,
And-
Ted. Now get the hell out.
Ted, check us out on Twitter because we like to make fun of the people that don't know crap about the sport. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a great one. Talk to you later.
Night.
Bye-bye.